Hello and welcome back. We're going to be looking at Pearl Jam's Immortality in this video. Now, there's been some requests to have live versions of the sound that Mike uses to play the solo and a few other bits and pieces. But I haven't had a chance to figure out the solo. But rather than wait, I thought, well, I'll show you all the rhythm parts. So that's basically what Eddie plays. And I think Stone just doubles up on an acoustic live anyway, and Mike plays pretty much the same as Ed, I think, apart from obviously the solo bits. So, solo bits, what I'll do is I'll look at the album version and some smatterings of the live version, including Mike's tones in a separate vid. So stay tuned for that. So we're doing a few of these where I get to do the rhythm bit and then I'll do the lead bit in a separate video, because otherwise I just never get around to doing the whole vid. So I thought best put them up in chunks, and then at least you have something to get going with while I'm working out the rest. Anyway, let's crack on. So standard tuning. Again, for Eddie's parts, I'm going with my single coil here, middle pickup. If you've got a telly, then you want to use the middle position for that. He often has a single coil in the bridge and a P90 in the neck on at least one of his guitars, and I've seen him use that a bit live. So it's a single coil type of sound. So if you get that, then you're going to sound pretty good. Okay, so on with the lesson. For Eddie's tone, I'm going with the live sound that he uses, but I'm using my tumness on my OCD. My OCD, I've turned the drive down to nothing, so here's my tumness on its own with just a little bit of gain. And that's over the top of my amp, which isn't purely clean either. There's a little bit of break up there. So the tumness as well sounds like that, but then with the OCD as well, with no drive, that to me sounds a bit more like it. I could just turn. Let me try just my tumness. I'll turn the gain up on that. Yeah, tumness gets you there on its own. So a little hair more gain on that. So there's a few ways of getting there. I'm going to go with just the tumness in this case. So that's Eddie's tone. If you don't want it as slightly as distorted as that, you can either turn the gain down or roll back a bit on your guitar. But I'm going to leave mine fully up because I'll bash it otherwise and it'll make the recording go all silly. So first riff goes like this. Okay, so the chords are C major, well, C add 9, which means you're playing a C chord, but if you add your pinky onto the D note on the B string, 3rd fret on the B string, but the fingering is basically, rather than playing these two notes with your 3rd and 2nd finger, you play them with your 2nd and 1st finger. And then your 3rd finger is free to go on to the 3rd fret on the B string. And the 2nd chord is just a bog standard E minor. Now if you're a beginner and you're not very good at the picking stuff yet, but you can strum, then you just need to play if you want to play along with the record. So if you count 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then The first 3 are the C, and the remaining 5 are the E minor. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like this. Okay, so that's the counting. Now, if you want to play it exactly right, you are going to be arpeggiating the first chord. Okay, so that very slowly is first 3 notes, like ascending, so they're lowest to high. And you skip over the B string and play the open E and come back down. So okay, so if these strings are 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're going to be going 5, 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, okay? Now, you might find changing between this tricky, but quickest way to show you how to do the fingering side of things, because I don't really focus on this too much and I thought it might be useful to, is this finger here stays on the A string fretted, okay? But then what you're going to do is you're going to slide it down 1 fret, and your 3rd finger is going to move from the 3rd fret here to come onto the 2nd fret on the D string. So that finger there is just sliding between those 2, and this one is going from there to there, okay? And because you're playing the open G in this, that's where you get the space to move your fingers. So it's just that. You need to be able to do it that quick, okay? Now, you have enough time to take your whole finger off the fretboard if you want. Doesn't make sense to, but just to show you. So you don't need to fret anything while that G open note is being played. Okay, I think I've laboured that enough. So once you get into the main riff, you're going to be playing an E minor to a D with F sharp in the root. Okay, better man stuff. Now Eddie oddly frets it like this. I'm not going to do it like that because it feels odd, so I'm going to play it the way I play it, which is the E minor, same as before. Then you move this finger goes to the E string on the 2nd fret, and these 2 fingers here play the sort of beginning of a D shape. So you've got your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret on the G string, and your 4th finger's on the 3rd fret on the B string. Okay, so the basic riff goes like this. Now, live he puts in this cool fill, so he puts it in every, I think, 1st and 3rd time maybe, something like that. So he doesn't play it every time, but you can chuck it in there, which sounds really nice. So so that slowly. And then to speed. Okay, then there's this chorusy bit, which is basically the same as the intro chords, but you're strumming them, so. The last time around you play this. And then you back into the verse riff. Now that last part is a C to an E minor. Very quickly you change then to an A, and it's an A major, but rather than having the your little finger playing the second fret on the B string, you play the B string open. So you're basically moving the E minor shape up one string. So leave that ring out, but then you're going to play this. And that's just a little rundown which you'll see in the tab with the chords sounding, okay? So okay, now halfway through the solo the rhythm's going to change and you're going to hear this. Etc. Plays around about 4 times, I think. But the chords you're going to be playing are an E minor to a kind of partial D, and then an E minor to a C. So okay, so that slowly goes 2, 3, 4. With this strumming pattern. Alright, so to speed it's now at the crescendo of the solo, you're also going to hear an A chord played. Bit of a Who section which Eddie puts in a fair bit. So that goes like this. And then the drums come in with a big fill and it ramps up again. So that very briefly is just 2 bars of an A chord, but you're just playing, just strumming and giving it a bit of attitude really. So and then you go into the into that again. When you come to the chorus part, there is a slight change, so you play and then when you play the you go straight back into another time round. So you don't play that the first time, okay? So the first sort of phrase of the chorus is okay, so that's the kind of turnaround bit. And at the end of that second phrase, then you do play the. Now live, this goes into a bit of a drum solo really, but Ed's just playing around with the A major kind of vamp, so he's just playing. And you'll see him go. And you'll also see him play. But anything you play around that A, you're going to be okay. You're going to be A-okay. Oh, that was poor. Anyway, hopefully that was in-depth enough for you, and stay tuned for part 2, which will be coming for some solo action. So that's it. Until next time. Cheers.